Island Whispers, an introduction to Jamaican folktales. Jamaica is a beautiful island in the Caribbean Sea. The sun shines brightly there almost every day. The beaches have warm, golden sand and clear blue water. But Jamaica is more than just a sunny place. It is an island that is rich with stories. These stories are very old and very special. They are called folktales. People have told these tales for many, many years. Grandparents tell them to their children and grandchildren. These stories are a precious part of life in Jamaica. These Jamaican folktales are often very exciting. They are filled with magic, mystery, and great adventure. In these stories you can hear about heroes who are brave. You can also hear about animals that can talk. Anansi the spider is a very famous character. He is very clever. Sometimes the stories can be a little bit scary too. They might tell of ghosts that wander at night, or they might tell of strange creatures that live in the deep forests. These tales also teach important lessons about life. The stories of Jamaica come from many different places. Many of them have roots in African traditions. These traditions were brought to the island long ago. They also mix with stories and beliefs from Europe. This mixing makes Jamaican folklore very unique and interesting. It is like a colorful quilt made of many different pieces. These beliefs were passed down from parents to children. They tell of a time when the spirit world felt very close. Magic was thought to be a real part of everyday life. Today we are going to explore one such tale. It is a fascinating story that comes from Jamaica. This story is a little bit spooky, so be prepared. It is also a very captivating and memorable story. This particular tale is about an old woman. But she is not just any ordinary old woman. She has a very mysterious and dark secret. She can do something that is quite unbelievable. So listen carefully to the tale that unfolds. It is the tale of the skin-shedding witch cat. Mama Ilara, the old woman with a dark secret. In a quiet, peaceful village nestled in the hills of Jamaica, there lived an old woman. Her name was Mama Ilara. She lived all by herself with no family near. Her house was a small, simple hut. It was made from wood and had a roof of thatch. The little hut stood at the very edge of the village. Just behind her home was a dark, dense forest. The trees in the forest were tall and very old. Their long branches looked like arms reaching out from the shadows. Mama Ilara mostly kept to herself and did not mix much with others. Mama Ilara looked much like many other old women in the village. She walked slowly, often leaning on a sturdy wooden stick. Her face was covered with many fine wrinkles. Each wrinkle seemed to tell a story of her long and quiet life. Her eyes, however, were very sharp and full of knowing. They seemed to look right through you, seeing your thoughts. She did not talk very much to the villagers. When she did speak, her voice was low and a little raspy. It sounded like dry leaves rustling together in the autumn wind. The villagers often whispered about Mama Ilara among themselves. They said that she knew many ancient secrets. They believed she had great knowledge of herbs and wild plants. She could make powerful medicines from them, they said. If someone in the village was very sick, they might go to her. But they usually went with a little bit of fear in their hearts. They suspected that she had special hidden powers. Some thought she could talk to spirits that no one else could see, or perhaps she could even see into the future. No one in the village knew her secrets for sure. What the villagers did not know was Mama Ilara's biggest secret. This secret was darker and stranger than they could imagine. Mama Ilara was a witch. She was not the kind of witch you read about in European fairy tales. She did not wear a pointy hat or fly on a broomstick. She was a Jamaican witch, and her magic was different. Her greatest and most secret power was the power of transformation. She could change her physical form. This was an ancient magic, very powerful and very dangerous. She kept this secret hidden deep inside her, guarding it carefully. Night of Metamorphosis, the skin-shedding ritual. Every night when the moon climbed high into the dark sky, Mama Ilara's secret life would begin. The rest of the village would be fast asleep. All the oil lamps in the houses would be out. Only the soft sounds of crickets and frogs filled the night air. This quiet, dark time was Mama Ilara's special time. She would make sure her little hut was very secure. She barred the wooden door very carefully from the inside. She covered her small windows with pieces of thick, dark cloth. No one must ever see what she was about to do. Inside her small hut, it was very dark and still. Mama Ilara would light a single, tall black candle. Its small flame flickered and danced in the darkness. The flame cast long, spooky shadows on the wooden walls. She would then begin to chant in a low voice. The words she spoke were soft and very strange. They were words from an old, forgotten language. It was a language that spirits and ancient beings understood. The air inside the hut would grow heavy and thick. You could almost feel the magic gathering all around her. Then came the most astonishing part of her nightly ritual. Mama Ilara would begin to shed her own skin. Slowly, very carefully, she peeled her skin off her body. It was as if she were taking off a tight dress. Her old wrinkled human skin came away completely. Underneath that skin she was something else entirely. She folded her human skin neatly, and with great care. She then placed it inside a large wooden mortar. This mortar was usually used for pounding yams or green plantains, but on these nights it held her human self, safe and sound. Without her human skin, Mama Ilara was finally free. She was no longer an old woman, slow and frail. In that magical moment she transformed completely. She became a sleek, agile black cat. This cat was not very big, but it was full of power. Its eyes glowed with a bright, eerie green light. These glowing eyes could pierce through the darkest night. This was the witch cat, ready for adventure. It was quick and silent, a creature of the shadows. The dark world outside her hut waited for her silent pause. The village's fear discovery and the witch cat's fate. The witch cat loved the immense freedom of the night. It would slip out of Mama Ilara's hut like a whisper. It moved like a dark shadow through the village. No one could ever hear its soft paws on the ground. It roamed silently through the sleeping village streets. It jumped gracefully onto the rooftops of houses. It peered with its glowing eyes into people's windows. The witch cat was very curious and sometimes quite mischievous. It might tip over a forgotten pail of milk left outside a door, or it might chase someone's chickens just for a bit of fun. One night, a brave young man named Kofi saw the cat. Kofi's small house was not far from Mama Ilara's hut. He had often seen the sleek black cat lurking around her place. He thought there was something very strange about it. So he decided he would watch Mama Ilara's hut one night. He hid quietly behind a large leafy mango tree. He waited patiently for a long time in the dark. He saw Mama Ilara go inside her hut and lock the door. Later, much later, he saw the black cat sneak out. Kofi knew then that this was no ordinary animal. The very next morning, Kofi went to the other villagers. He told them everything that he had seen the night before. He explained that he believed Mama Ilara was the black cat. At first, some of the villagers did not believe his story. They thought he was just telling a tall tale to scare them. But Kofi was very sure of what he had witnessed. The older people in the village remembered ancient tales. These tales spoke of skin-shedding witches, sometimes called sukuyants. They knew that such creatures could be very dangerous. They also knew there was a way to stop such a witch. The villagers knew the skin-shedding witch's greatest weakness. If salt and pepper were put all over her discarded skin, she could not put it back on. So that night, while the witch cat was out prowling, some brave villagers crept into Mama Ilara's hut. They searched around and soon found her skin in the mortar. Quickly they sprinkled coarse sea salt and hot crushed pepper all over it. When the witch cat returned to the hut just before sunrise, she tried to slip back into her skin. Skin, you no know me? Skin, you no know me?" she cried in a strange, desperate voice. But the skin burned her terribly because of the salt and pepper. She was trapped outside her human body. The sun came up, and so the skin-shedding witch cat was defeated, her magic broken. The story teaches us that secrets can indeed be dangerous, and that even ordinary-seeming people can hide extraordinary, sometimes dark, abilities.